Welcome to Birds with Bottle.
We've got a thing about wine,
and we want you to have a thing about wine too.
And this week we're looking at New World Chardonnay, because Chardonnay sometimes gets a bit of a bad press.
And it shouldn't.
It certainly shouldn't. Some of the best and most expensive wines in the world are made from Chardonnay.
Yeah, it's known as one of the noble grapes, and that's not for nothing.
Certainly isn't.
We're setting off from the Limerick Valley in Chile first for this De Martino 2010 Chardonnay, obviously. It's from the 347 vineyards there, and this one's available from Virgin Wines, and it's $9.99 a bottle.
Yes, now Chile is no longer only known for its $4.99, $5.99 wines. They really are making some great wines here.
The reasons a lot of people don't like Chardonnay is because they don't like the oak in it.
Yeah.
Now, this is unoaked.
Yeah.
And this is one for those people.
Bags and bags of rich, tropical, ripe fruit. I mean, absolutely.
Yeah.
Shouting out of the glass. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah, it's promising a lot, isn't it?
Mm. It's refreshing. It's not too heavy.
No.
There is that. I mean, there's a reason that Chardonnay is so popular, or has been so popular. It has this beautiful balance, this feeling, this weight without being heavy. It's just
it's
so
none of that
attractive.
kind of horrible, kind of thin, tinny, nasty notes. It's very rounded. Yeah, there's some tropical fruit, there's some citrus fruit. It's the whole package, isn't it?
It's the
Without the oak.
Without the oak. It is the perfect wine. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. And I think the reason why Chardonnay has had a bit of an image problem is that in the 80s it became extraordinarily fashionable. It was everywhere. It was terribly popular, wasn't it?
We were falling over ourselves for Chardonnay on menus, in the shops, everywhere. And I think there was a bit of a backlash to that, wasn't it? Because there's a fine line between something being popular and then suddenly being a bit common. A bit like flares.
Yeah.
And a bit like...
And the Mini Cooper, exactly. Yeah. What comes around goes around.
Enough said.
Right, our second wine is the De Bortoli Reserve Chardonnay. It's the 2010 vintage, and it's $8.98 in Asda.
Now this is from Australia, and unusually for Australia, it's only got 12.5% alcohol.
And we like that.
We like that, because sometimes you want to drink a slightly lighter wine.
It is oaked, and there is a hint of oak on the nose, isn't there?
Yeah, it's quite delicate though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not one of those great wumphy Chardonnays.
To me, this is a bit white peppery.
Yeah,
just a little bit of something.
Certainly very attractive.
A completely different style of wine. It's not oaky, is it? But it's the last wine was so rich and tropical and weighty, and this is refreshing and light. It's lunchtimey sort of. Yeah. Very easy drinking.
Yeah, it's more stone fruit with that little bit of creaminess from the oak that gives it just enough texture to make it a nice balanced wine.
Exactly. So Chardonnay can be like this, but it can also be like the last wine. But it is so versatile. There's Chablis, which is acidic and quite neutral, very food friendly. Then there's lovely, very oaky, age-worthy white Burgundies. It even makes champagne. So it's
there, isn't it?
It's
doing so many different things.
Many different
and as it comes out in so many different guises, we reckon there's got to be, if you're a wine lover, one that suits you.
Yeah. However much you think you don't like Chardonnay, if you really think you don't like Chardonnay, can I suggest you email us, because we believe we can find one for you.
Or tweet us. Right, we're moving on to a very different style of Chardonnay now. It's the Sonoma Cutria 2009, and it's available from Majestic and Waitrose at $15.99 a bottle. And occasionally this one's on offer, so it's worth watching out for those.
Yeah. Now, as Sandra said, this is a very different style, much richer, fuller. Wines from California generally they've got more alcohol, more sugar, and often more oak. Sometimes it's a little bit out of kilter, but I think this one's going to be just right.
Yeah, and this one's actually got 14% alcohol in it, which is, you know, a great deal more than the previous one,
yes,
isn't it?
Yes, and what a different style.
But look at the colour as well. I mean, you can see that real golden colour.
Yeah, and it's got a toasty smell. It's not over the top, in your face toast, but it's
it smells like the oak's very sort of nicely sort of honey nutty-ish.
Oh, lovely taste. It is honey nutty taste, isn't it? It's like
there on the palate, yeah.
So it's like praline, isn't it? Sort of sweet and nutty.
Yeah, you can see what you're paying for here, can't you?
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on in this wine, isn't there? It feels quite nicely layered and
there's
beautiful
long flavour, and it sits so beautifully in your mouth. It's just it's really clearly high quality wine.
You do get that little nutty edge right at the end as well. Just when you think it's going away, it comes back and surprises you.
That really is lovely. But if you didn't like Chardonnay, this might be the sort of style that you don't like.
Yeah.
I think the complaint about the oak, this could be...
Whereas I love this.
I do.
Now you see, a lot of our generation, they grew up on Chardonnay, didn't they? It was kind of where you started, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There was lots of Chardonnays around and everyone began on that. So you can see a bit why you get a bit bored of something, don't you? And you kind of turn away from it. You kind of outgrow it, don't you?
Yeah, and you look back and you think, God, that was so unsophisticated Chardonnay. How could I have done?
Yeah.
I'm a bit like that with Harrogate, actually.
Oh, Harrogate's lovely.
I know, but I grew up there and I just think, Harrogate. It's so, Harrogate.
Yeah, I suppose I'm a bit like that with... I really regret giving away my collection of Winnie the Pooh books. Now, at some point, as a teenager, I kind of thought, oh, I can't possibly have Winnie the Pooh in the house.
Yeah.
I mean, how childish is that? But now I'd love to kind of, go back to them and reread them. And there'll never be that collection again.
Away?
Yeah. And I think that's sort of, it's a natural reaction in life, isn't it?
It is.
And that's what's happened to Chardonnay with all those people.
Yeah, and in 10 years' time, do you think there's going to be a whole generation of people who are thinking, oh, Pinot Grigio, really, did I ever?
Yeah, but generally there might be a bit of a reason for that.
Do you think?
There are some exceptions to that rule.
And our last Chardonnay is the Journey's End Honeycomb Chardonnay, 2011 vintage, and it's $9.99 in M&S.
Yeah, now this is from South Africa, from Stellenbosch, which is one of the sort of cooler coastal regions.
Yes, and it gives it a lighter, fresher style, but fabulous intensity.
Yeah, it's quite intense there, just on the nose, isn't it? In fact, we put it at the end, didn't we?
Yeah.
After deciding which ones we were going to taste in which order, we sort of thought, oh, no, this one has to jump to the end because it was
so much more of everything.
Yeah, even though it's lighter in style.
Yeah, lovely, 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 sweet, floral greenhouse, or sort of white greenhouse flowers. Gorgeous.
And you're getting that floral sweetness on the nose as well, aren't you? A little bit of butteriness, creaminess from the oak. Little kind of nutty finish.
Lovely. Isn't that just gorgeous? Absolutely gorgeous.
Oh. Now, we've shown you a real range of Chardonnays from the New World here, haven't we? I mean, from your non-oaked to really quite intense.
Heavy, and then this intense, and then the lighter style. We've done everything. And the important thing to remember is Chardonnay has always been good.
Yeah.
But now it's cool to like it again.
It is. So if you're thinking ABC, stop thinking anything but Chardonnay and start thinking find an absolutely belting Chardonnay instead.
Perfect.
See you next week.
See you next week.